Thank you, Madam President and trustees and members of the community. Before we begin the typical superintendent's report, I do want to make just a superintendent's statement regarding student safety and the importance of student safety in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. I think you don't even have to be a close news watcher to be concerned about some of the stories that we hear, not just in our district, but in districts around. And so we have had some contact, and I just want to share a brief statement. We do understand the concerns that arise with student safety at school, particularly in light of recent news events, both locally, at the state level, and nationally. And we never take for granted that parents bring us their most precious and valued young people to educate. And I just want to assure our community that student safety remains the absolute top priority, even before our critical mission of teaching and learning. When it comes to criminal matters, however, we're not at liberty to speak of things publicly, as President Stead referenced. But I promise you, and folks who are involved in any situations would also agree, that we are very diligent in following up with each and every detail of an investigation, with putting safety plans and safety measures in place. I can reassure our community that appropriate and vigorous measures are in effect every day, and are particularly in effect when folks raise concern. So we are always working closely in partnership with our parents, with our students, and with the Ann Arbor Police Department and other authorities to absolutely ensure the safety of our students and staff. Many steps that we take in situations may include emergency removal from school, comprehensive threat assessment by professionals, both within the school setting and beyond the school setting. Our teams often require documentation of continued follow-up with mental health support professionals and verification from licensed therapists or providers before we would re-enter a student into an environment that's not quite, that student is not quite as healthy as they should be. We utilize our call to Child Protective Services because we are mandatory reporters. So these are the steps that we are taking every day in situations where concerns are raised. Another important step we take is to connect students and families to resources across the community. We're very fortunate in Ann Arbor that there are many community resources. But as we all know, a characteristic of the time in which we live is the reduction in public service. And so we do feel that at school, and we're constantly working with our partners, such as the University of Michigan Depression Center and many other partners that are working closely with us to support our children and families. Always, in situations of concern, we remain in full communication with our parents, our guardians, and with our students. So I would just encourage anyone in the community that when concerns arise, either about your own child or about some situation that you're aware of, we would just encourage you, reach out right away to someone at school, to an adult at school, and go right into the process of making us aware of your concern. We want to have our adults at school, and they are. You've seen tonight two beautiful teachers from among our constellation of excellent teachers. Reach out early, reach out often. We are here to support our students and staff and to continue to hold the priority of student safety as our very top concern on every day of school. So I would just encourage folks to reach out privately, personally, phone, email, or drop by your school. We're ready to hear the concern, and we will respond straight away. So with that, I hope everyone enjoyed a good Thanksgiving break. It seems like forever ago, and yet it was just a week. We in the Ann Arbor Public Schools were delighted last evening to celebrate our annual STEAM Expo. If you didn't get an opportunity to get over there, Skyline was just an amazing setting for this event. I went in and it was difficult to leave. I know some of our trustees were present and many members of the community and lots of students. We were proud to showcase the Project Lead the Way program for students in kinder through 12th grade. And these students were coding, they had their robots, 3D printing, design thinking. There were over 600 students in attendance last night at Skyline High School. And that beautiful open area at Skyline was just a great place. There was plenty of room for all the robots to run around, and they had a little competition there. They also had a stage where we had several presentations given in the time of the evening. The high school robotics teams, the TEDx Youth, the Health and Medicine Magnet provided a strong showing. Pioneer and Skyline robotics teams had a mini competition to display their robots. There were presentations featured that included iMovie, the arts in STEAM, and the gender gap in STEAM. 500 students received participation awards, and the Hour of Code awards were presented as well. Trustees, we recently finished or had our Hour of Code events, our fall events. The Code Awards represent an effort coordinated by the district in partnership with Thomson Reuters and the University of Michigan Women of IT to give every elementary student an introduction to coding during the Hour of Code week, which was November 27th through December 8th, so it's a couple of weeks. There were 111 class sessions of the Hour of Code representing over 2,700 elementary students. We want to recognize and thank the 72 volunteers who assisted in classrooms and the 80 volunteers that assisted at the Hour of Code event. Angel, Baugh, and Lawton Elementary received top honors for the most participation. They each received a plaque, and these plaques were created by the Huron Project Lead the Way students with their new laser engraver. If you can see the plaque there, the students actually created those. And they were presented with 10 Sphero mini robots to continue coding with robots. Thank you to our partners, volunteers, and staff for bringing this all together. So this, trustees, I haven't even gotten to email you about because it is so fresh, hot off the press. Project Lead the Way just introduced a national video, and it profiles Miss Shemansky and the Carpenter Cougars. And it's only 1 minute and 45 seconds long, but it is powerful. And we're so excited in Ann Arbor to be presented at the national level like this. So ready, set, go.
Today our students are learning how to code using Tinker. So they've already experienced hopscotch, and now they're experiencing a different platform just to try out some new blocks and try out some new code. Okay, go ahead and open up your iPads. You have time to explore, try things out, test things out. So many of our students had never tried coding before and never tried anything in the computer science field before. So their knowledge was so raw, and every single student had huge, huge takeaways, and every student was able to be successful. And it not only taught them the basics of computer science and coding, but it also taught them to try things they had never tried before, to give things a chance, to experience something you had never tried, and to know that you can be successful in anything you try. Nice, but that's awesome because you figured out how to do it more as like a computer scientist. Every day I have kids come up to me, Miss Shemansky, I downloaded Hopscotch. Miss Shemansky, I downloaded Scratch Junior. Miss Shemansky, I programmed a new game. They're really becoming their own teachers. They're learning through exploration. The APB approach has been a huge benefit to my students, and by participating in the activities before getting to the project and solving the problem, every student is able to have the same foundation. Every student is able to work from the same skill set. Every student walks away from the lesson feeling successful and feeling like they've really captured their learning and been able to apply what they've learned. The PLTW experience has completely changed my career. It's absolutely remarkable to see how engaged the students are, how excited the students are, cheering every morning when I walk in. Woohoo, it's PLTW time.
It's great, thank you. Yeah. So another great example, and congrats to Ms. Shemansky and Ms. Marilyn Colligan. This group of Project Lead the Way teachers were presenters at the recent national conference. And I was so proud because the banners, the Project Lead the Way banners, featured Ann Arbor students at the national conference. And so we were just really excited for this great celebration and great opportunity to lead, not just in Ann Arbor, but nationally at this level. Another great example of this kind of collaboration is the coding class that's offered through Rec and Ed. If you haven't heard about this, it was developed by pioneer computer science teacher Ted Emsch, that features high school students teaching elementary students computer programming. Andrew's showing you the story that they wrote and some great photos here. Mr. Emsch designed the curriculum with both the high school students and the elementary students in mind, testing it at Dickin and Eberwhite elementary schools before offering it as a 6-week Rec and Ed course. It appears to be a good way to gain the interest of students at a very early age. Other STEAM events coming up. Trustees, this is the STEAM week. Several of our district events landed this week. So we had AAPS STEAM Expo last night. Our upcoming events are Tech It Out at Pattongill Elementary, and that is tomorrow night, December 7th, and it will introduce parents to the exciting technology that their children are already using at school, and it will invite students to make some low-tech educational gadgets that they can take home and use at home. HU STEAM Northside will be hosting its STEAM Expo tomorrow night, also December 8th, where students will show their personal STEAM projects. I was over there a couple of days ago, and I'll tell you, the STEAMers are steamed up. They're working morning to night every day on their projects and trying to get them all ready for their presentations. You can see the times here. It's 5 to 5:30, and then 5:45 to 6:15, and then 6:30 to 7. And you can see the grades. This flyer is on our website, so any folks out there that would like to drop by STEAM tomorrow night, I suggest parking remotely and having a nice walk-in so that you can have easy access to the building, and be prepared to stay a while. You might think you're just going to run in and out, but you can't, because the stuff they're doing is so exciting, and they've been preparing to share their projects with you. So we'll look forward to seeing lots of folks there tomorrow night. On Friday, November 17th, I wanted to highlight our middle school Minority Student Achievement Network middle school mini conference. We weren't traveling to the national group this year, and so I was really delighted and surprised to learn that 50 of our students participated along with Farmington and Birmingham public schools in the regional mini conference. And so there were 150 students in attendance altogether, 50 from each of the 3 districts. And the purpose of the conference was to provide an opportunity for students to learn and engage in meaningful dialogue with trained facilitators about social justice, diversity, equality, and for students to dialogue about issues relevant to our communities. So students prepared for their conference at home with counselors and teachers working with them in their home schools before they went to the conference. And they had the opportunity to interact with keynote speaker Mario Dewberry. You'll see pictures here of them, and then engaged in conversation facilitated by Farmington High School students about diversity and inclusion. Our AAPS students were very impressive in how they engaged with each other and with their peers from other districts. Very exciting. On Friday, December 1st, Pioneer High School's Rising Scholars hosted a symposium in partnership with the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business. There were 2 breakout sessions where students had the opportunity to learn about the importance of networking, how to use social media and its pitfalls, as well as how to brand oneself while learning how to be a future leader. So we're really very excited, and trustees, I plan to send you a little bit more on this, but we're very excited. It just came to us, and I wanted you to be able to see the photos tonight of our Rising Scholar students from Pioneer there at Ross School of Business. The symposium concluded with an admissions presentation conducted by University of Michigan's Ross Business School Assistant Directors of Undergraduate Admissions. The symposium was a huge success. The kids got to hear directly from admissions officers about what it takes to get into college. And we had about 80 students participating from the Rising Scholar and DECA and Economics clubs. We wish to thank the U of M Ross Business School and the MBA students who volunteered so generously of their time and efforts to support our students. Isn't that exciting? I also wanted to highlight, trustees, it's almost too late because Ms. Bacalor reports to me that the winter break camps are filling up with lightning speed, but we just wanted to mention that we're offering 5 enrichment and sports camps over winter break. This is the 2nd week of winter break, so it's January 2nd through 5th. The camp programs offer opportunities for students to be creative while learning about global cultures, be physically active, develop sports skills, learn tech skills with CTN, and learn science through fun experiments. So the list of camps, the A2 sports is already full, so we won't push that one. But Big Nutty Science Camp, Celebrate the World Camp, and a really popular one, Lights, Camera, Action, where they produce the program that airs on CTN, and sometimes I get lucky and they have me on, and I love that. And then Pioneer High School Basketball Academy, which is always tremendously popular as well. So right now, there are 180 young people, ages 5 through 15, already registered, with 35 of these children registered for the extended care, so they'll be with us all day long. There are a few spots left in the camp, so parents, if you've not made arrangements for that 2nd week of break, and this is a good thing for you, we would love to have you go online and sign up, or just call the Rec and Ed office, and Ms. Bacalor and her team will be excited to help you get into winter camps. Trustees, it is always just an honor to share out the superintendent's report, and I wanted to make sure that we take just a moment to welcome new incoming CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Miss Amanda Matheson. If you'll stand, Amanda, and everybody will give you a good warm welcome. There she is. Thank you. We introduced you a couple of weeks ago, and you weren't here. So you recall, trustees, that she's coming from, and I'm having trouble saying the name, but it's Jessica teaches me. Sault Ste. Marie, thank you. And we're so excited to have her here in Ann Arbor. She started on Monday, just day before yesterday, so we're excited to have her here. And it's our first board meeting, so we'll go easy. Yes? Thank you. It's a pleasure to serve the Ann Arbor Public Schools. It is a great honor, and thank you for the opportunity to share our superintendent's report this evening. Thank you.